All right, this is our final video for chapter 11, and we are going to talk about how to find the volume of spheres and also how to use that equation to solve some other types of questions. So first, what is the formula for the volume of a sphere? It is 4/3 times pi times the radius cubed. So r, as it is in the surface area formula, stands for the radius of the sphere, distance from one of the edges all the way to the center. And that is the only thing we have to plug in is the radius, 4/3 pi times the radius cubed. So for this particular sphere, if we want to find its radius, or we want to find its volume, we first need to find its radius, which would just be 6 inches. And so we just plug in 6 for the radius. We do 4/3 times pi times 6 times 6 times 6. You get 288 pi, which is approximately 904.78. All right. Let's talk about a different type of question. If the volume of a sphere is 500 yards cubed, find the surface area of the sphere. So here, we are going to need to find the radius because in order to find the surface area, we'll need the radius. And if we have the volume, we can find the radius because radius is part of our formula for volume. So first, we're going to plug 500 in for volume and solve for the radius. So the first thing we're going to need to do is multiply both sides by the reciprocal of 4/3. So we're going to multiply both sides by 3/4. That gives us 375 equals pi r cubed. Now we got to get r cubed by itself, so we divide by pi. And then to solve for r, we're going to take the cubed root of both sides and get our value for r. We're not going to plug this in the calculator yet. We're going to wait until that at the very end once we plug it into the surface area formula. A reminder, the surface area formula that we learned earlier on in this unit is 4 pi r squared. So now that we have an answer for r, we can just plug it right in for r in this formula. So 4 pi times that value we found for radius, cubed root of 375 over pi, and we're going to square that. And now we're going to enter this expression into our calculator. This is a little bit of a tough one to enter into your calculator. So if you try entering it in and you don't get this answer, let me know and I'll come show you how to put that in your calculator. All right, so the last question we are going to answer is finding the volume given a circumference. So the circumference formula we'll need to recall from earlier on in the year, that is 2 pi r. So we're going to set 10 equals 2 pi r and solve for r. So divide both sides by 2, divide by pi. We've solved for r now, and just like before, we won't put that in the calculator yet. Now we're going to plug that 5/pi in for the radius in our formula for volume. So, right, volume is 4/3 pi r cubed. So we're going to have 4/3 times pi times 5/pi to the third, just like before. Put this in your calculator, and if you don't get that answer, see me, and I'll show you how to type it in.